all very appreciative. Thank you. But we've been talking about ICE raids this week, and something that I want to just say is that I am an immigrant. I am a naturalized citizen, and because I am an adoptee, I was born in Korea and raised in Missouri, I also slipped through the cracks in these immigration discussions. But there are tens of thousands of adoptees like me who are at risk for deportation. I've covered adoptees who've been deported because someone in their adult, like an adult in this child's life, failed them at some point and didn't get their citizenship passed all the way through. The reason I'm sharing this is because there's so much nuance in immigration and the way we tell those stories. And if you remember, not that long ago, there was kind of this talk that there was a bill in the Missouri State House that was going to put a bounty on the heads of immigrants. So maybe you could say, hey, I think my neighbor is in here illegally, so you can get $2,000 for that, something like that. There was never really a chance that it was going to go through, but because it was a headline and because people had talked about it, there was like all this buzz, and there actually was a person that we reported on, I think it was Lincoln County, a person who impersonated a federal agent, broke into someone's house, held them captive, and the person called their translator and said, I really need help here, I don't understand what's happening. And the translator said, well, let's call the police, let's get this figured out. And the impersonator said, well, I am the police. Well, guess what? The real police came, they arrested the impersonator. But this kind of rhetoric is really harmful for people. And I just think to have that representation in a newsroom is important. Not to say one way or another if someone's here legally, if someone's here not legally, I don't want to get in that discussion, but the idea that someone could provide some nuance that understands that immigration is not just one thing or another thing. I was at my kids' school, and I was in the parent association group, and there's a federal judge in my group, and I said, what do you think about all this? And she said, you know what, you need to get your passport card and carry it with you everywhere, so that if someone thinks that they're going to detain you, you can at least show them your passport card. And so I just wanted to share that because, you know, I'm not really afraid that I'm going to walk down on the street and get detained. But when we have so much nuance that needs to be addressed and brought to light in newsrooms and in our community to talk about our neighbors, I just feel like that's very important. Not everyone has that experience, and also being an immigrant that's not even considered an immigrant in so many circles is part of that gray area. Just real quick, okay, so I know I have to go, but I just want to say thank you again, real quick. At the heart of what I do as a journalist, I'm supposed to tell everybody's stories, specifically people who are underrepresented, marginalized, and those who are voiceless. Is that DEI? You know, in the political climate, yes, but also in the fact that that's just what I'm supposed to do at the heart of who I am. And then I joke that I'm very Asian because someone else made me choose. You know, someone called me very Asian. So I had to choose to either take pride and be loud about who I am, stand up for others, you know, work to connect us all, or and in journalistic capacity. Or I could have been okay with showing the example to my son that it was okay to be small. So I just chose to do that. I think a lot of moms, a lot of parents would do that. Diversity really encompasses so much. The way our bodies move, the way our brains think, so many things besides just what we look like and the currency that brings. But I'm also really better for everyone in this room and the people who nominated me, so thank you so much. I wanted to say thank you. Big shout out to Ruth Kim, Helen Lee, Peter Tao, Jeff Way, Soma Shinani, so many people at that table there. And thank you so much for just letting me be a part of this community.